coming out of the creek, going all the way up the cliff to a kind of a cave-like structure at top. And in each step, I guess the water over the years had made a big footprint. So it just became the Devil's Stairs. I mean, who else would create something like that?
Right.
And even before then, before there was a bridge, there was a footlog. And a young girl who had a baby out of wedlock decided she didn't want it and dropped it in the creek off the footlog. And also at midnight, if you go across there, you can hear a baby crying.
So it's kind of a cursed place.
Yeah, it's kind of a cursed place.
In 1914, a railroad worker in the mountains of North Carolina made a fatal mistake. He lit a stick of dynamite. He turned to run, and then he tripped. Before he could get back up, the blast went off. The explosion killed him instantly and scattered his remains across the rocks in the forest. According to locals, that tragic accident set off a chain of events. Many believe something evil came to the area because of what happened that day, or maybe it was already here. Devil's Stairs sits along North Carolina Highway 194, about 6 miles north of West Jefferson in Ashe County. Right beside the bridge over Buffalo Creek once stood the striking rock formation, 4 near-perfect stairs, each roughly 12 feet high. This formation was created in 1914 when the Norfolk and Western Railway Company was building the Virginia Creeper Line from Abingdon, Virginia to Todd, North Carolina. A black laborer was dynamiting a large rock to make way for the tracks. He lit the fuse, turned to run, but his foot got caught under a rock. He tripped and fell. As he scrambled to get back up, the blast detonated. The explosion killed him instantly and scattered his body across the surrounding woods. In the past 20 years, the North Carolina Department of Transportation has built a larger bridge at the site, and they blasted away part of the lower stairs. You can still see what remains of the formation when the foliage permits. The railroad worker's death was only the beginning. Not even a year later, a mother brought her unwanted newborn to the stairs, and she dropped the baby in the Buffalo Creek below. Then, a young girl named Hopel Turner was struck and killed by a passing Virginia creeper train in the same area. After these tragedies, strange reports began circulating. People claimed they could hear the dead worker singing old spirituals along the abandoned tracks at night. Fishermen said they heard the cries of a newborn coming from the creek. These deaths, combined with the violent explosion and the growing reports of the paranormal, cemented the Devil's Stairs' dark and spooky reputation for years to come. Since that explosion, strange stories have continued to emerge from the Devil's Stairs area, told by both locals and people just passing through. As I mentioned, the ghost of the railroad worker is often heard singing old spirituals late at night along the abandoned tracks where he died. There are also frequent reports of apparitions. One of the best-known accounts comes from 2 men, Lula Hamby's husband and Blaine Eller. While walking up the hill behind the stairs toward the town's electric plant, Mr. Eller heard footsteps behind him. When he turned around, he got the shock of his life. He saw a man standing there with no head. According to the Charlotte Observer, a newspaper out of North Carolina, multiple local accounts and dozens of people over the years have reported seeing the same thing. Headless figures walking near the bridge and along the road after dark. And those aren't even the strangest stories connected to the Devil's Stairs. In the early 1900s, a tobacco salesman named W.T. Dollar was riding past the stairs when he felt something heavy drop onto the horse behind him. Before he could turn around, he felt two hairy arms wrapped tightly around his waist. His horse, sensing something, bolted in terror and didn't stop until it reached Oak Grove Baptist Church. According to Mr. Dollar, once the horse stopped at that church, that thing slid off the back and simply disappeared. When he finally got home, he discovered strange leg-shaped prints on the horse's flanks. Another man, Dr. Wilcox, reportedly had a nearly identical experience around the same time period. Some locals tell a different version of the story, though. They say that after a woman hanged herself near the stairs in the 1800s, riders began claiming something would suddenly jump onto the back of their horse. Those brave enough to turn around said they saw a misty figure of an old woman with wild eyes sitting right behind them. The road and bridge at Devil's Stairs have become known for something truly bizarre. Wooden coffins appeared suddenly in the middle of the road with a body inside. The story goes, one night a man riding home on horseback came upon a wooden coffin lying in the middle of the road. He could clearly see a body inside. His horse refused to go around it, no matter how hard he tried. He eventually had to turn back. The next morning, when he returned to investigate, the coffin was gone. Years later, Jim Pullman had a similar encounter. According to Lula Hamby's sister Rosie, Pullman was so terrified you could have wrung water out of his clothes when he showed up to her house. He was that scared and running that hard. The next morning, the coffin had vanished once again. Drivers have also reported picking up hitchhikers who disappear after passing the stairs. Some have looked in their rearview mirror to see a grinning face staring back at them, only to turn around and find the back seat empty. One of the more chilling modern accounts is told by Deputy Sheriff Frank Parsons. He recalled an incident involving a dispatcher for the Jefferson Police Department. She was driving to work late one night. She crossed the bridge near the Devil's Stairs, and she clearly heard her back door open and then close. Terrified that someone had just climbed into her back seat, she turned around, but no one was there. When she finally reached the station, Officer Parsons said she was white as a sheet. The Devil's Stairs maintains its reputation for the strange occurrences. Bikers frequent the area since Highway 194 remains part of a popular 120-mile motorcycle loop through the Blue Ridge Mountains. Nowadays, instead of horses, riders report something appearing on the back of their bikes as they pass through the stairs. Many describe their motorcycles suddenly becoming much heavier and harder to control. Some say they can feel cold arms wrapped tightly around their waist. Whatever it is, it usually disappears once they get a short distance up the road. Most riders nowadays prefer to pass through the area before nightfall, and it's easy to understand why. This place has built a long and consistent reputation for the strange and the terrifying. The original rock formation itself is still there, even though it has been partially obscured by time and altered during the bridge expansion. No matter how much time passes, one thing remains very clear. Something deeply unsettling still lingers at the Devil's Stairs.